Hi, thank you for watching. My name is Misha. We're going to talk about nanominerals again today, and in this case, particularly on platinum. As you can hear, I'm not a local speaker. I am actually from the Netherlands, and I'm speaking also from the Netherlands. So if I say something weird, please excuse me, have a laugh. But I'll try to do my best. First of all, nanominerals are the smallest minerals that you can imagine. To just give you an idea for everybody who doesn't know what nanominerals are, nanominerals is so small that if you put one hair, the diameter of that is 80,000 nanometers. So they're really, really small, and they're dissolved in water, and therefore they can really easily get into your body and do its nice works. So today we're going to zoom in to platinum, a noble metal, and we're going to see what it all has to offer us. Platinum is a noble metal or mineral. A mineral is the same, but a noble metal is one of the many, many minerals. And it is, amongst others, very, very good for the heart. And we're going to find out why soon. Platinum as a noble metal. In general, noble metals mean that they do not react very well with other metals. They feel they're sort of pride, and therefore they're very stable, special also. They conduct very well, and they have very specific properties that we can use for both industrial purposes, but also very much so for our body and even our spirituality. As you can see on the right, also indium is squared in a red square. That doesn't really count as a noble metal, or not at all, but some people think it belongs to the group of noble metals because it has such specific, beautiful purposes for our bodies. It is very good for our hormonal system and very good anti-stress. But that is a subject that we're going to discuss in another webinar. So noble metals for health been used for ages and ages by the Indians, the Chinese, the Egyptians, actually the nobles, the royals or the blue-blooded. They used a lot of silver works like cutlery, knives, spoons, cups, bowls. They hold their food in that because they know the ions that release from the silver actually kills off pathogens, bacteria, viruses, yeast, and fungi. But the Indians, for example, they used copper because that also kills pathogens. So the ions that release from a copper bowl also make sure that your cutlery is clean. But for example, you can use a copper doorknob to keep it clean. In general, they improve your health. They kill off the pathogens. They're curing ailments. They're raising awareness. For example, gold has even proven in tests when you use nano gold particles that it can raise your IQ also with 20 points. So that's quite a lot. And also it stayed on for like 2 months. So it does imply that you need to keep on using it. But it also really shows that the gold actually did it. And so last but not least, the spiritual growth. There isn't one of platinum in this one, unfortunately, but I just wanted to show that how far back quotes go on noble metals. And one of my favorite is that actually the Bible states that colloidal gold is an anti-stupidity remedy. And that goes back 3,500 before Christ. And you can read the phrase, but I will read it out loud. And he took the golden calf the people had made, burned it in the fire. Then he grinded it into powder, scattered it on the water, and made the Israelites drink it. So they would act less stupid than they had so far. And so this goes really far back. And luckily nowadays we can still find gold as nano gold. So you can actually drink it if you have anyone you like to recommend it to. Also, the Egyptian papyrus rolls, they show quite some uses for noble metals, in this case on copper, can be used for the decontamination of wounds and sterilization of water. This goes back 2400 before Christ. So just to show you that for ages and ages, long periods of times, people have been using the noble metals for the special purposes, both for protection outside of the body as inside of the body, and both physically and physiologically. So, platinum then for health. It improves our energy levels, and I think you would agree that most of us can use that. It contributes to longer lifespan. So if you want to live a bit longer and you want to enjoy your life a bit longer, platinum can be of use. It is a very powerful antioxidant. That is one of the reasons why you gain a longer lifespan out of it. It activates the thymus gland. That is just over here. The T cells are made in the thymus gland, and actually the T cells kill invaders, so very specific pathogens that need more than our overall immune system. This is also a reason why you gain a longer lifespan, because if your immune system is strong, you can stay healthier for longer. It stimulates alpha brain waves, so that basically means it makes you sort of zen, just like a Buddhist. This is what it does. Each of these points we're going to address in the next slides. We have a lot of slides, so I hope I make it. If we run out of time, we just put a new date. But we're going to go all over most of the information, and maybe all, hopefully. It helps balance the left and the right brain hemispheres. I see there's a spelling mistake, so mine still work. Luckily, I just drank some platinum. And it regulates the hypothalamus and the pituitary gland. So for a lot of hormonal problems, platinum is also used. And we see a lot of good experience from practice. So platinum on physiological use. It works against fatigue, cell damage, aging, lowered immunity, muscular weakness, also the heart, and radiation loads, and cancer in the end. 1 out of 3 people gain cancer, unfortunately, at this moment. I think it's about 12,000 a day only in Holland, which is a lot. And hopefully we can use platinum in the fight against cancer, among other nutrients, obviously. Psychological, spiritual, fatigue again, because we can be tired in the body, but we can also be very tired in the mind. Loss of focus and concentration because of that. ADHD, ADD, dyslexia, autism, and imbalanced emotional behavior. And that's because of both of the pituitary gland, but also because of the left and the right brain hemispheres. That basically means that you're gonna put emotional things, which are logics, more in one line. And we've seen really good results on that. Addictions, neurosis, aggression, apathy, that usually comes along with imbalanced behavior, traumas from the past, pain that you gained by several things that happened in your life. So it will also help to make it easier to let go of this kind of behavior. And then again, the radiation load, because radiation doesn't only attack our body cells, but definitely our brain cells. If we keep phones straight to our ear, it has shown that it does a lot of damage. We are not sure how far that reaches at this moment, but I think most of us are aware that radiation is not so healthy for our bodies. It attacks cells, and therefore we need more antioxidants and more nutrition to keep the tissue healthy and actually regain damaged tissue. Zinc is, by the way, also one of those minerals that can help. It can regain, rebuild neuroplasticity. So it's it stretches out the brain, basically, so you have more flexibility, and therefore also the transmission between the neurons goes easier and faster. So zinc is definitely one of the minerals I would advise alongside with platinum. Yeah, so I think I already said why platinum is good against Wi-Fi a little bit. It is a powerful antioxidant. We will see why in a minute. But therefore, you can make sure it has less damage to the cells. And also because it's makes us a bit of sun, the radiation, the frequencies that get us out of balance are being rebalanced by platinum. So you have less effect of the radiation, and you will get faster to yourself and sleep better and keep more stable and stressed out. Ooh, I just get a a note, but we get rid of that fast. So to sum up, platinum against Wi-Fi, it protects against brain damage, it protects against aging, it rebalances disturbed brainwaves, it improves clear mind and mental well-being, and it helps focus and extend stamina. Now, how does platinum increase our energy levels and lifespan? To tell you that, I'm going to explain a little bit on how energy is produced in our body, where we store it, so you can understand the role of platinum in this process. Platinum helps to upload our batteries. So you can see we have 36 empty batteries and 36 full batteries. These are being made by one molecule of glucose. So one molecule of glucose can actually fill up 36 full batteries. And we call that ATP, adenosine triphosphate, to be very precise. But this is the energy that our body stores and that we can use whenever we need it. And platinum can help producing ATP. So we know by now that ATP is basically our physical battery. Our body needs to produce energy to be able to fulfill all of its tasks. So every day just doing this, I need energy for that. Blinking with my eyes, telling this story, I need a lot of energy for that. So let alone if I want to drive or I want to do some sports. I like to go to the gym myself, for example. And we need lots and lots of those batteries, much more than we just saw. So every second or every trillionth of a second, ATP is made. But we need more energy as we ask ourselves more, as we ask more of our bodies by stress, bad food habits, cigarettes, alcohol, but also the pollution from the air and the water. Because of all those things, our body is attacked and we need more energy than sometimes our body is able to produce. But first of all, where is the ATP made? In the mitochondria. So the upper picture over there, the green, you see a mitochondria. It is a cell, and inside it has an extra cell membrane, so a layered cell membrane. That is so that the mitochondria has more space to produce energy, because actually in that inner membrane, so the one that's curved, there actually the energy is produced. It's a very, very chemical process, so I'm not going to go into that. Just only a teeny tiny bit, because it's within the membrane. There are 4 very different protein complexes, and there's a lot of steps from A to Z when we actually have ATP. But what is good to know, that these are the energy factories of our bodies, and all our body cells except for red blood cells contain these mitochondria, and especially the ones that need a lot of energy. So your brain, your muscles, but mostly the heart, because it pumps the blood around all the time, every second of the day. It never has a rest. And therefore the heart tissue is made up of more than 50% of mitochondria. So the heart is very dependent on proper function of these mitochondria. So where is ATP made again? In the mitochondria. That is clear now, I guess. But it comes basically from the food that we eat, mostly the glucose or the sugars and the fatty acids. Amino acids, not so much, because if we burn up amino acids, we get extra toxins that we don't like. So basically, if the body has enough glucose and fatty acids and the right enzymes and minerals for it, then it uses up those to produce energy. And that fills up our batteries. So mitochondria provides ATP, in other words, energy. And so they are of great importance of our heart, our muscles, our brain, our liver. And without the proper functioning of mitochondria, these organs will not function properly. As you see, I go along the slides because it's a lot of information. And what I personally really don't like if people show slides and they talk all kinds of other things and you can't read at the same time and listen. So I just go along with the text. I think it's very clear and it's easy. As a result, if you cannot produce enough ATP, if your mitochondria don't function very well, if your digestion in the basic does not function very well, you get fatigue, shortness of breath, muscle weakness, ailments, and disease. These are all symptomatic of mitochondrial dysfunction. So how does platinum play a role in this process? Well, we start with the sugars and the fats from the foods. They're broken down. And then within the mitochondria, we need, as a start, we need a coenzyme. And this enzyme is called NADH. You might heard of it. It's a very, very powerful antioxidant. And it's also good for different other purposes. But that one is at the very beginning of the chain to, in the end, produce ATP. If we do not have enough NADH, then platinum can donate electrons instead of NADH. So, because actually the electrons speed up the energy process. This whole process is called cell respiration. I'm not going to go into that, but it's important to remember that we need this enzyme, NADH, to start up the energy making process. And platinum can substitute NADH when it is scarce. So to see how that works with the donating of electrons, basically what happens is all molecules, atoms constantly interfere with each other. And during a chemical process, one atom or molecule donates an electron and another one loses one. They have to be in a sort of state that they're stable. And you see on the left side that this particular molecule has a lot of electrons in the outer orbit. And the other one is very specific. It has 4 pairs of electrons. And when it misses one, it's unstable. It becomes a free radical. And platinum, for example, is one of the antioxidants that can donate one of these electrons to make a free radical stable again. But this is also how platinum plays a role in the production of ATP. It can donate electrons to start up the energy process. And that makes platinum very interesting because lots of us are lacking energy and lots of us are lacking NADH. And we're going to see why. Let's see, why is this important? Why do we lack NADH? Because we need more than we get from our foods. NADH is actually in our foods. It's in every living cell, so also in the plants and the dairy that we eat. And actually, because animals, they need a lot of energy, they run and they have muscles, they have much more NADH than plants. So when you have a vegan diet, for example, it's more difficult to get enough NADH. And also, if your digestion tract doesn't work really well, it's difficult to release the NADH. And because we are attacked by all kinds of poisons from the air and the water and our foods and our cigarettes, and well, our cigarettes for some, alcohol, medication that more important people use. Also, just the average painkiller is, of course, a medication. And all those factors contribute to the request of the body for energy, because it has to perceive all these things. It has to get rid of the toxins. It needs extra energy to handle all of these things. And therefore, with lots of people, we lack NADH. And then platinum is a wonderful, wonderful thing to substitute NADH. So we can keep on producing lots of ATP and stay in our energy levels. So what does NADH do besides starting up the energy process? It repairs actually DNA and helps cellular regeneration. It improves the cellular immune system, and it stimulates dopamine and adrenaline. Well, dopamine we need to be able to get out of bed and be happy and start up our work or other things that we need to do. And adrenaline is one of those hormones that we need when we need really fast reaction. So, for example, you see your kid going on the street and a car comes by, you want to grab your kid right away so it doesn't get hurt. And then adrenaline comes up. It takes only a couple of seconds or less. And we need NADH to provide in that. As we do need NADH for all these things, it's handy when you replace NADH by platinum. So you actually have some NADH left to do these other things. So yeah, there you go. Platinum is a great substitute, and it has an extra function on top of that. Well, several actually. So yeah, let's see. Let's look at that. So again, when production of NADH does not live up to our needs, platinum can come to the rescue. And the nanoparticles can be taken up in the cells straight away. Both in your muscles, your heart, your organs, even your brain. This is important because you can actually get NADH in a pill as a compound. But it's very difficult to get a stable NADH supplement. Because yeah, it reacts very fast, so it's difficult to get it as a stable supplement, and therefore platinum is a great substitute. But also, when you take NADH as a supplement, as a pill, your body needs to digest it. Before it finally can do its work, it takes a lot of time, whereas platinum can go straight into the blood system, straight to the organs where it's needed, and do its work right away. And if you put some platinum, and then your body actually keeps enough NADH to produce the adrenaline and other hormones, by the way, and other neurotransmitters besides dopamine, for example. So here it can be of great benefit. In summary, platinum can substitute NADH by functioning as an electron donor for our ATP production and as an antioxidant. It acts as an antioxidant. Platinum can therefore play a key role in our energy production and levels. So basically, platinum helps to keep up your energy levels and increase your energy levels. And therefore, because it also makes sure the mitochondria keep working well, your heart keeps healthy, your muscle keeps healthy, your brain functions well, your liver can do a proper job. Your liver needs a lot of energy to get rid of all the toxins. And your organs rely on this mitochondrial function, and platinum helps with that. So to zoom into the platinum is an antioxidant. By the way, if you have any questions, just put them down. My colleague Kai over there in the other room will put them down for me, and I will answer them for you. Platinum is a very powerful antioxidant. As mentioned, it mimics SOD. I don't know if you ever heard of that, but probably you have. SOD, or superoxide dismutase, is a very powerful antioxidant enzyme that is straight in the cell membrane. So whenever damage has been done to the cell, SOD comes to the rescue and gets rid of the free radicals and keeps the cell healthy. If you have too many free radicals, we're going to see in a moment what that exactly is, but free radicals contribute to all kinds of diseases, and particularly aging in general, but also cardiovascular disease, cancer, rheumatism, Parkinson's, diabetes, heart palpitations, and many more. In the basis, the free radicals age us. Cells, yeah, they die off, they get damaged, and therefore the body gets out of balance, and we age and we disease, we get sick. To digest food and release energy, which is the basis of everything, oxidation is key. Oxidation basically means the change of electrons, like you saw in the picture, and you can see also over here. It's the exchange of electrons. Therefore, a chemical process can actually happen, and the whole day through our body provides thousands, millions, billions of chemical processes to make sure everything keeps in order. And as a consequence of these chemical processes, we have free radicals. That is just like if you burn a fire, you get ashes. If we start up a car, we get pollution in the air. So whenever you burn something, I mean, if you cook your potatoes too long, they get black. Wherever something is burned, there is also always a bit of waste matter. And in this case, we call this waste matter free radicals, because these are molecules that have been robbed of an electron, and therefore they go act like crazy because they are searching for another electron to pair and balance them again. And because they're in this search, they go like a crazy man who is outrageous and just can't find whatever he needs, and he goes along everything, and he's doing a lot of damages because he throws the papers and the glasses in the air and on the ground. This is a little bit how you can see it, and therefore these free radicals do a lot of damage to our bodies. So we want antioxidants. So here, in short, free radicals are particles, molecules, ions, metals that lack an electron. These particles are now unstable and cause damage to cells, tissues, and even our DNA. The DNA is our most important information protein, so to say. From there, everything in our body is built and rebuilt. So it's very important that DNA stays healthy in their search for replacement of electrons, just like I just told you. I wonder if everybody has an angry man in his mind now, but it's maybe an easy way to understand it. Free radicals are therefore responsible for the aging process and associated diseases and ailments. So our body obviously has a defense mechanism. It's very intelligent, so it has a solution for everything. So we use antioxidants, and antioxidants are a group of enzymes, vitamins, minerals. There are several nutrients that can act as an antioxidant in several ways. One is better in preventing oxidation, other is better at grab a free radical and stabilize it again. So we have different areas in there. But good to know is that platinum does that job. It stabilizes the free radical, and therefore the damage, it's protected against the damage. We have a couple of very strong antioxidants, enzymes, SOD and CAT that I just told you about. And they together actually form a first-line antioxidant defense system. This plays a fundamental role in the body's defense and protection mechanism. Now, just like NADH, because we are over-asked in all the processes in our body due to the stress and the pollution and the medication and everything that comes with it, also SOD is hard to have in the right amount to keep us healthy and give us the right lifespan that we deserve, and to keep us from getting sick and having all these ailments and fatigues and brain problems and contractions loss and all these things. So just like NADH, it's also very difficult for our body to keep up the SOD and the CAT levels to protect us from aging and to protect us from our cells being damaged, also the DNA. And if the DNA gets damaged, we get damaged cells, and in the end that can result in cancer even. Because usually cancer is there it starts. Especially the conversion from glucose to ATP, so the whole process that is needed to bring out ATP, to create ATP, that creates a lot of free oxygen, and that is free radicals. So in the same process that is needed, we can't go without, to produce energy, at that same process, a lot of free radicals are produced. And therefore, you will find SOD and CAT in these mitochondria and in all our cells to protect the cells from damaging. Otherwise, we would age really fast and get sick really, really fast. So this mechanism is really important. And platinum can mimic SOD and CAT. So where we have a shortage of SOD and CAT, platinum can substitute and come to the rescue. So to say it's very easy, it means that platinum can start up the cell energy production process. So it starts up the whole energy process. And then it actually also cleans up the mess that is made by this exact same process. So if you understand it, when I got this, I was like, wow, platinum is something really, really special. So it can actually mimic gasoline. When I want to go drive my car, I can use it instead of the gasoline to drive my car, as a metaphor. And also the pollution that comes from my car is being cleaned up by the platinum as well. So I was like, wow, this is really good information, and actually also explains a lot of other things, because we've been saying that platinum helps strengthening the heart, and it's good for the immune system. And we have, of course, reference and information, but this whole new information and the studies are there as well. Makes everything so clear and also so final on how it works, and gives us a stable given how you can use it, and then it actually does what we thought it did. So this is really cool. So the first time I was really surprised, and still when I read it out loud, I'm like, wow, it's such a beautiful thing, and such a great product to have in your kitchen. Again, sort of a sum up. Attacked by poisons from foods, from air, water, medicines, the body needs more energy, and more free radicals are produced because we need more energy. So also more free radicals are produced. The amount of SOD does not live up to the body's needs in our current environment, just like NADH. And SOD is even more difficult to supplement. You can get it in supplements, or you get the cofactors to make your body produce SOD, but it's very difficult. It's much easier to take a little bit of platinum because it goes straight away into the cells, both in the body and in the brain. And there it can substitute. So Nano Platinum actually protects us against aging, disease, and ailments, and it contributes to our energy levels. Wonderful. I have to say, for me, it does work. When I started Platinum a couple of years ago, I was a little bit out of balance. I was more like going up and down, very happy, and then suddenly sad without a good reason for it. And it stabilized me. I really, really felt the difference. And I only use it twice a week now. In the beginning, I used it every day, like a full cup, well, like a shot glass. And now I do like a shot glass twice a week. And I maintain the same outcome that I had from the start. And for me, it works wonderful, as for many other people as well. So we go to a whole new subject now. I hope this part was clear, and that, yeah, well, again, if you have any questions, I'd love to hear them. It's also a beautiful night out, so, well, and actually in the Netherlands, it's a beautiful night out, so it might be that you watch this at a different time. But platinum and cancer is also a big subject. So you probably heard of cisplatin, and we're going to compare that to nanoparticles, and we're going to see what platinum actually can do in the fight to cancer. So first, I'm going to, I'll talk a little bit on what cancer actually is, so we all have a clear view. Of course, I'm not an oncologist. I do not want to say that I have the cure, or that I have all the information. I don't know how to say that in proper English, but I just want to make sure that I not want to go sit in a doctor's seat, but I do want to share the information that I have, that I found, that I read, that I saw from practice. I do want to share that with you. So first, we're going to see cancer is a disease caused by an uncontrolled division of abnormal cells in a part of the body. Cancer cells can get everywhere in the body. And also depending on the organ where it starts, it has, a different look, a different property. And therefore we have many, many different kinds of cancer, but in the basis, it's always an uncontrolled division of abnormal cells. So I'm just going to go over this with you. In normal tissue, cell division is controlled. In the event of infection, for example, damage, for example, you have a traffic, you hit a car or whatever, you have a heavy injury, or contact with other tissue. If a cell comes in contact, like from a kidney, a cell grows and it comes in contact to a different organ, then the body is already programmed by killing itself. When the cell notices something is weird, it's not right, it kills itself. So it cannot do damage to the body. But this is the body's own protective mechanism. However, if a defect in the DNA caused by either hereditary strain or acquisition, so it comes from an impulse outside, it causes mutations, and that makes the cell insensitive to this programming. Actually, hereditary strain probably only counts for like 2%. A lot of people think that they again get the genes from their parents and therefore they get the same diseases. But actually, the environment plays a much bigger role. And there is more and more and more and more science to back this up. And And it might be that it runs in the family because most of the time in the family, they pick up the same behavior. So therefore, it runs in the family. But actually, we find more and more evidence that it's more the environment that you live in than actually the hereditary strain. So the genes that you inherit from your parents. And you have to look at infections, a virus, radiation, chemical agents, medication, food additives, cigarette smoke, etc., etc. So all toxins can damage your cells if you do not have enough SOD, CAT, NADH, or platinum, and other antioxidants. Your cells actually can get damaged, and also the DNA can get damaged, and therefore you have mutations in the DNA, and therefore you can get a cancerous growth. So the result of that is uncontrolled proliferation, in which cancer cells can divide infinitely and provide their own blood supply. This is an extra power that comes to the cancer cells. They actually create their own blood vessels from where they get nutrition to even feed them more, to become bigger and bigger and more malignant. And note in this case that a lack of minerals, not only minerals, but also other nutrients, they contribute to cellular damage. I mean, for example, you need zinc to bring over the information from the DNA to the actual cell where it is needed. So gen expression. Silver, for example, has shown to kill cancer cells, probably due to the fact that it can differentiate cells. But magnesium, for example, is needed to relax the muscles and the nerves. And if it doesn't go well, there's too much tension and a cell can be damaged, and also the DNA can be damaged. And in that way, every mineral and lots of vitamins and other nutrients contribute to healthy lifestyles, and the lack of it contributes to illness and in the end also cancer. And again, nowadays 1 out of 3 people get cancer, and this is not a nice thing. So it would be good to join our knowledge and fight this terrible disease. Empty foods, therefore, feed cancer cells, because look at it this way: if you eat white rice is redone of its peels, its skin. The skin actually provides you with all the minerals and the vitamins. For example, magnesium has been taken away for 85% if you take off the peel of the rice. The same is with flour. If you have a whole grain flour or a white flour, all the nutritionist value is taken away. And when you don't provide your body with the nutrients that it actually needs, you're gonna pressure your body, because it needs to take those minerals from your bones, your organs, your skin, wherever you have some reserves. And if you used up your reserves, then you're gonna get a trouble sooner or later somewhere. And it can either be an eye infection, a skin problem, rheumatism, diabetes, problems with the heart, high blood pressure, candida. It can be all kinds of things. But if you don't give your body the right nutrition, you will deplete it, and you will feed cancer cells, and you will also increase the risk of all kinds of diseases. For example, this is a new studies from last year, that high fructose corn syrup increases tumors in the colon. High fructose corn syrup is a sugar, but it is a chemically made sugar. It is not to be compared with sugar from an apple. It is so chemically attacked, I would say, that it has a lot of properties that are not benefiting our body. In this case, you will see that, well, if you would drink a can of soda daily, it speeds up the growth of tumors in the colon of mice. Mice are very comparable to human beings as how we react on nutritions and medications. This study shows that colorectal tumors use high fructose corn syrup as gasoline to promote tumor growth. So where your body can use platinum as gasoline to speed up energy, the body uses high fructose corn syrup as gasoline to feed cancer cells. And actually, this high fructose corn syrup is in a lot of foods. It is in most sweetened beverages. It's basically in every takeaway meal. Everything that's easily processed, that's easily to get, contains this bad sugar. And it also promotes storage of fat in the liver, in the tummy. It increases our blood pressure. It is bad for the heart and veins, and it has a lot of extra negative side effects. But under more, it feeds cancerous cells. And sugar anyway, sugar taken away from foods that we use extra in our coffee, in our tea, in meals, all kinds of things. We eat about 12 times 5, these little cubes of sugar. I don't know how big they are in England, but with us they're like 5 grams, and we eat about 12 of those daily, the average person, besides our normal foods. So that is a lot of sugar, and sugar depletes us from nutritionist value and also feeds cancerous cells. So when we have this proliferation of cells, we get a tumor. So the tumor is this big cell, just like you see in the picture, and this one causes damage to or even destroy tissues and organs, which leads to malfunction of the body, and ultimately it can lead to death. As all of you know, that cancer many times leads to death. A lot of people are cured of cancer as well, but even then, lots of times they fall back after 5 or 10 years. The cancer comes back and they die anyway. So to fight cancer, we should be more conscious of our daily behavior, more exercise, less stress, more nutrition, to help us prevent cancerous growth, but also to kill them off. A cancer cell is, by the way, characterized, if I pronounce that right, by different characteristics: the type of tissue in which it is originated, the organ in which it is located, whether it has spread or not, the degree of division, and the phase in which it is located. These characteristics also determine which treatment can be used. So just to show you that we have many different types of cancer and different nutritions like minerals and vitamins, or maybe a mushroom extract, can have different outcome in the attack to cancer because it's different variations. Platinum against cancer. Well, first we're going to look a little bit at cisplatin. Cisplatin is a chemical compound of platinum made by men. It falls under chemotherapy. Chemotherapy is the treatment of cancer with cytostatics. Cytostatics are drugs that inhibit cell division. If cells can no longer divide, they die. Cisplatin is classified as an alkaline agent, So this is also chemotherapy, also falls under cytostatics, but a very specific group, so the alkaline agents. And the alkaline agents make breaks in the DNA by means of reactive molecules and or ions. This is interesting, so we're going to look at that in a minute. They disrupt DNA matrix functions, DNA synthesis, so basically the buildup of DNA, and the repair of it. So they block all of that. And this prevents the cancer cell from growing further. So that is a good thing. But and I will not say that cisplatin you shouldn't use or whatever. I mean, I know it's helped people, but it has a lot of side effects, and better to make sure we don't get the cancer by treating ourselves really well. Yeah, under morbid platinum. But just to sum up a couple of the side effects of cisplatinum, severe nausea and vomiting. Actually, a fun fact is that because of this side effect, they made an anti-vomiting medicine. So because of this side effect, we actually have anti-vomiting products at the market. One leads to another. But cisplatin also makes sure you have less appetite, you can get diarrhea, severe kidney damage within a few weeks already, hearing damage, ringing in the ears, or hearing less well from high tones, anemia, so lack of iron or low red blood cells, increased risk of infections and bleedings, such as a bloody nose, decreased mineral values. So that's very obvious, and it's of course very logic. If your body is under stress, it's gonna use up more of the minerals in an attempt to rebalance the body. So you finally, you notice very fast that you get a lack of magnesium, calcium, potassium, but also zinc and lots of other minerals. So it's always good if you know somebody that will go for cisplatin or another platinum compound that is used as an anti-cancer drug, to always give some extra minerals, because your body is so much in need. Basically, we all are in need of extra minerals, but in such a case, we are in extra need of it. So what can we do with platinum? Nowadays, maybe you heard of it, because cisplatin and other anti-cancer drugs have so many side effects. They actually are looking for other options, and immunotherapy is one of the forms that can help us. And I do notice, just like you do probably, that it's spelled incorrectly. I am Dutch after all, but I will adjust it when you before you receive the link to review this webinar. But platinum can play an important role as an immunotherapy. So what is immunotherapy? Immunotherapy, also called biological therapy, is a type of cancer treatment that boosts the body's natural defenses to fight off cancer. Of course, your body can fight cancer. If you have the right amount of antioxidants, you will already prevent the growth of cancerous cells. If you have enough nutrition, you also prevent the growth of cancerous cells. And if cancerous cells anyhow come up, as we all have, all of our bodies contain cancerous cells. Cancerous cells are being produced within everybody. The body has another system to get rid of these cancer cells, namely the T cells, which are produced in our thymus gland. And T cells are very specific snipers that can go for a very specific invader that damages our body, maybe even leads our body to death. We use these T cells to kill them off. So it's good if we can stimulate this production of T cells. And that has been done by several nutritions, zinc, for example, but platinum has been shown to be a real powerful stimulant of the thymus gland. The thymus gland is very big when we're small. When we're just born, we have a really big thymus gland. And as we age and we get older and older and older, it shrinks down more and more and more. Probably because of the aging, the damaging of the cells, too little antioxidants, too many free radicals, and it slows down. But because platinum can actually repair and prevent damage, and it also has a direct influence on activating the T cells, it is a very powerful and at least a very interesting mineral as acting as immunotherapy. So in here, it plays a significant role to fight off cancer. So to sum up again, because it's a lot of information, I hope you can keep up with it. Actually, we've done pretty well, by the way. I went faster than I thought. We only have a couple more slides, so we actually left, we did it in time. I hope your brain is not going like this. Maybe you have some platinum in the kitchen, actually. That will help. But to sum up, Nano Platinum as immunotherapy, it is an antioxidant. An antioxidant protects cellular and DNA damage. So platinum performs as a preventative against cancerous growth. There are other minerals that do that, but platinum is one of the most powerful ones to do this. The immune system can make special T cells that kill off cancer cells. But when our mitochondria can't provide enough energy due to a lack of NADH, for example, the immune system is undermined. By the way, this is also why, for example, you use coenzyme Q10. Coenzyme Q10 is also very much needed in this energy process, just like iron. Iron is also very much needed in the production of ATP, but it's later on in the steps. But if a lack of iron, for example, is the reason why your energy production is not up to speed, a nano iron can, just like platinum, go straight away in the blood system, can find its way to the tissue, to the mitochondria, provide the iron that is needed so the ATP production can be started up again. So you see, we need more minerals to do the task. But platinum is one of the powerful ones because it is at the beginning of the ATP production, and also at the same time it takes away the poisonous free radicals that are produced in this whole process. Because platinum delivers the electrons to produce energy, and it stimulates the thymus again at the same time to make more T cells. So in this way, platinum can play a significant role in fighting off cancer. On the other hand, but this is a subject that I think we should address at another time, in another webinar, where we can also see what other minerals do in the fight against cancer. But it is nice to tell you that actually nano platinum particles are being seen more and more to fight cancerous cells without side effects like cisplatin does. So, for example, there is really big studies done on cancer in the liver, so specific liver cancer cells, where they put nanoplatinum particles and they followed them, and the platinum particles knew how to find their way into the cancerous liver cells. There released its ions, so it released actually electrons and it became ionic. If you remember, I said a couple of slides ago, this ionic part is important because with every mineral, especially the normal metals, it counts that actually the ion does the work. You also see it in the ATP production. It loses electrons, then it's ionic. So the ion does the work. And it has been seen that platinum, nano platinum ions killed off liver cancer cells without side effects and without damaging healthy cells. So that is very promising for the future. And who knows in what way, if we take some platinum, it helps besides these chemical processes and functions against cancer. Yeah, so this is the story on cancer. I hope it was clear. I hope you know how to use it and that you're inspired as well. The last 2 or 3 slides, yeah, I want to go over to platinum as a mood enhancer. Actually, I think for most people who know platinum, this is the information they know, they've seen before, they probably expected in this webinar. And then I came out with a whole new row of information of functions of platinum as an energy enhancer, as a protector, as an antioxidant, and how it can be used to fight off cancer. But what platinum also does, it stimulates transmission between the right and the left hemisphere. So basically that means it connects the right and the left brain sides together. So it can work together. And basically, therefore, it means that the emotional parts and the ratio parts comes more in line. So, for example, recognition of words and a recognition of face. So when you see somebody, you can also remember the name instead of I know that face, but what's he called? What's he called? We all know this pattern. But it also makes you able to put your creativity to your actually speech or the language that you speak. Just put your creativity in work. So you make more static things, if that's the right word in English. Yeah, to creativity, emotional layers. And therefore, this is also the reason that imbalanced emotional behavior becomes more balanced, outlined. Because we all know this, and everybody did this probably a couple of times in its life, that something happens and you get outrageous or you get really sad or apathic without being a really good reason for it. But this has to do with not being able to connect these parts, or also what happens with lots of us. We went through some painful happening. Our mom got really mad with us for no really good reason. And we have a sort of small trauma, but later on in our life, when something happens that looks like it, this pain is coming out again. Basically, the button is pushed and these emotional layers come up. And platinum actually helps to connect different brain parts, not only the right and the left, but also the different layers. So the neocortex and basically the reptile brain. And the reptile brain only goes for whatever it wants. It goes on impulses and whatever it needs to survive. So it wants food instant, and it wants to reproduce instant. But it doesn't have any ratio. Like a reptile, for example, eats its own children because it just sees it as food. It doesn't make a connection that it's an emotional impulse, that it's connected to him or herself. Whereas human beings, well, normally never would do such a thing. This is where our other brain parts come in. And platinum helps to bring these different parts together, and also the left and the right. And therefore, it's also used spiritually because it makes you more aware. It can make you grow and be more zen. which is a good thing. And it can actually make you look at a thing more for what it is instead of sitting in the actual emotion. So you can look at it from a side, and therefore you can react in a better way, in a more balanced or more logical way. And that's easier for yourself and the people around you. So in that way, platinum can be very useful as well. It also helps to rebalance the pituitary gland. So from the pituitary gland, actually all your hormones are balanced. This is like the mother gland. And if she is out of line, it's difficult to get yourself out of a stress situation again. It decreases your concentration, your memory, your abilities to write and read, for example. So it's good that this pituitary gland works well. And yeah, platinum plays a role in that. Another mineral that we talked a little bit about in the very beginning is indium. This also works on the pituitary gland, even a little bit stronger. So it depends on the person for whom platinum would work better or indium would work better. But indium we're going to do a whole webinar about, and then you can see the differences. But platinum also does this, and platinum is really, really good in connecting the different brain parts, whereas indium does not. Indium really regulates the pituitary gland and therefore all the hormones. But platinum is really good for this whole connection thing. And therefore it's a great mood enhancer, but it's also good against the ADH. ADD, ADHD, autism, memory loss. If you want to have some extra mental focus because you need to do an exam, for example, you can use some platinum instead of coffee. Use it a couple of days beforehand already, but you will notice it gives you that extra focus. It makes you happy. It gives you this longer span of stamina without the chew of the coffee or the fatigue after drinking too much coffee. So in that case, it can work really well. Together with magnesium is a beautiful combination. So platinum, overall, because of this mood enhancing effects, because of this hemisphere, the brain parts, the pituitary gland, it can help with PMS, which is a hormonal imbalance from the pituitary gland. So think of irregular menstruations, heavy menstruation, pain, cramps, holding fluids, menopause with all its things, having sleep problems, anxious or sweat attacks. Lowered libido is a hormonal thing, lack of testosterone, prostate problems has to do with hormones, but also has to do a lot of inflammation. And we've just seen that platinum is a very powerful antioxidant, and it can speed up energy. So in that way, it also decreases the loss function of organs, unlike the prostate. Hormonal migraines, there it works very effective on. We've seen a lot of good results. I cannot guarantee, I can never guarantee, but I can tell you that a lot of people react very well on it, especially with nanomagnesium. Magnesium is usually always a factor that is short when people with migraines and headaches. Also in general, because most of us have too much stress, too much tension, and you need magnesium to release that tension. So you definitely need that as well, but platinum will help to release the tension from your head, get more focus, get more balance, get more rest, more hormonal balance. So it will lessen migraine effects. It also will lessen the amount of attacks, the frequencies. And sometimes if you're there really fast, when you actually are capable of noticing the first signs, when you do a shot glass of platinum and 2 shot glasses of nanomagnesium, you can sometimes put it to sleep and you won't get a migraine attack. Worthwhile trying. It also works on the thyroid, helps in balancing, either if it's too fast or too slow. And when your adrenal glands are exhausted because of the imbalance of the hormones, your adrenals get exhausted, and platinum will also help with that. Yeah, I think we have come to an end. Either I spoke really clearly and you have no questions at all, or it was too difficult. So I'm really looking forward to your feedback. You can always also still put some questions in or mail us. But I would love to see your feedback. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was good information for you and it was inspiring for you. I want to thank you for attending this webinar. And I hope to see you soon. When you receive the link to review this webinar, you will also find the dates for our coming webinars on, among others, the indium and the zinc, Okinawa minerals. So we have lots of exciting things to share with you. Thank you again, and hope to see you soon.